Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm Bob DeMarco. Coming up, we're going to give away a Terzuola design mug, and I'm going to show off the beautiful Terzuola design case that we're going to give away next week. And we're also giving away a CJRB Nanner tonight. A lot of giveaways tonight. That's two. Well, I guess two is 100% more than one, so that's a lot. And then what's your biggest knife regret? Now, actually, I'm trying to think of one, and I haven't really come up with one yet, but I know we all have one, and it will come up in conversation. I want to find out what yours is. I haven't spent too much on folders recently. I've been very selective with folders, and I'm thinking of not replacing, but augmenting or adopting a brother for my military. I've been talking about this ever since before the military 2 was ever announced. And then it's been out for a couple of years and I still haven't gotten one. But I really want to get one. I've been liking my Spydercos lately. OG Blade Reviews. How you doing, Dave? Good evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkalos. Well, once again, my biggest regret in the knife world has to be selling that Terzuola fixed blade Chris back in the 90s. Would be numero uno. Oh, that is sad. That is very sad. I actually wasn't even thinking of things I regret selling. There are a number of them. That Rexford designed ZT is one of them that comes to mind for me. Have a knife day. Good to have you here. Have a knife day. Good evening, Junkalos. That would be a knife from Australia. Saw their folder in a magazine and ordered it. Opened the box and handle looks the color of mud, and the blade mail order bride horror. Oh, that's terrible. Is that Hardcore Knives? Interesting. Is that the same as Hardcore Hardware? Because I've heard good things about them. I thought you were going to say it was that company, Down Under Knives, that makes the Bowie knife that Crocodile Dundee carried. Ground Fog, good to have you here, Ground Fog. As always, a pleasure. Carino One, nice to have you here with us. Speaking of pipes there, good evening. Was I? Good evening. I was thinking of them. Good evening, Jim, Bob, and fellow junkies. Didn't have an answer for tonight's question, so I'm joining OG Dave in regretting his decision to callously ditch that Terzuola. Carino One, rubbing it in. But ain't that what it's all about? This kind of brotherhood. You got to rib each other, right? It shows that there's love there. It's ribbing of endearment, if you will. Marco, good to have you here, Marco. Evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Good evening to you, Marco. Sword XXXY, good to have you with us. Good day, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. I have a couple of big regrets. First is passing up a first model SF Commando knife for $20 when I was in high school. Oh, I hear you. Second is not getting, a Griffin M10 when I had the chance. And for so long, we had the chance. That Griffin M10, it was a VG10 blade. It was a Terzuola designed fixed blade knife, about $110, $115. I think it had an injection molded handle. It was cool. I think Nut & Fancy had, that's where I learned it. That was from Nut & Fancy for sure. James Hart, nice to have you here, sir. Everyone staying sharp and rust free. Yes, indeed. I certainly am, sir. Sharp, well, you decide. Today was a very, very dense day, and yet still not everything is done. And that, anyway, Fishbag, Craig, good to have you here with us, sir. Evening, Bob, Jim, and people living on the edge. My biggest knife regret up to this point is knowing that I'm certain to have bigger knife regrets down the road, and yet somehow I'm okay with that. Wow, Fishbag, it's like an Ouroboros of Zen. I like that. You just got to approach it that way. That's why I never sell anything, and I'm trying. I am trying. I have a giveaway pile now for this show of my own knives. James Hart says, okay, if I have one regret, it's not buying the Espada XL with G10 scales with the red handle scales. They still exist, James. Unless they're all gone as of I don't know. I was looking at those 2 or 3 months ago, and Terminator Joe is the guy to ask because he's the guy I first saw with one of those. Good to have you here, Terminator Joe. Good evening, fellow junkies, great and small. The biggest knife regret is not getting a knife before it's discontinued. Yes, yes. Like I really regretted not getting this until Strings offered it up in a trade because I'd been blabbing about it. Biggest knife regret is not getting a knife before it's discontinued. I have 3 Mayhems, but I regret not getting the first limited edition red. Okay, I remember that. The black and the red. That was beautiful. I think that was S35VN too. Wheel height works. Nice to have you here, sir. James, it is, I think. Evening, Bob, Jim, and my fellow junkies. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it is. And I love, every time I mention it, that blade is just beautiful. My biggest knife regret is waiting until I was an adult to get serious about collecting. That was probably a prudent idea. The later an addiction or affliction, or let's say expensive hobby starts, the better. Have a knife day says #mug. Oh, this mug. So let me show you the mug. It's actually #knife, I believe, right, Jim? We're going to stick with #knife for both of these. Benedict Doty, let's go. Happy Thursday night knives, people. Actually, since Benedict is here, let me show you what we're going to give away next week. I'll show you what we're giving away this week too. But first, I'll put away this beautiful Saks. You'll see that later, as it was my, well, that's a little foreshadowing, let's say. Okay, Benedict. Ben, thank you so much. He sent me these beautiful, he sent me 2 of these beautiful. Hey, how's it going? Watch and Cut Gear channel. It's awesome to have you here, Alex. It's been a while. Always good to know you're here, and we got to catch up. You too, sir, could win this. Ben sent this to us. Ben Odie is Bob Terzuola Designs merch czar here. Hero Sticks, nice to have you here, sir. He says, evening cheers, Bob, Jim, and junkies. And he's not only the merch czar over here, but he's also an incredible designer and artist in his own right. Anyway, he hooked up with a guy from art school who does incredible ceramics, and this is beautiful. You've seen me drinking out of my Terzuola mug a lot, but this one could be yours. This is none other like it. This is a prototype. Apparently there are a few imperfections in there. I have not been able to find them. Though the ceramics teacher where I went to art school used to call it the beauty in imperfection. That's what you were striving for because you knew it was going to be imperfect. So anyway, that's what this is. Also, it's a damn great mug, excellent handle, and it keeps it's this stoneware, and it really keeps coffee hot longer. I swear it does. So we're going to hashtag that knife that. I guess we have to do that first because we're hashtag knifing both the mug and the knife. Right, Jim? Is that right? Thomas Wheeler, nice to have you here, Thomas. Evening all. My biggest regret is selling my Spyderco. Oh, Spiderfly in VG10, in anything. Even if it were in pot metal, still that'd be a bummer. That's a sweet knife. Sean Clark, nice to have you here, Sean. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and junkies. Hope everyone is doing well. I know I am, for one. So far, only one knife regret, but I figure you live and you learn. So I just moved on. Sounds like Sean does not want to talk about it. Sounds like it's a sensitive topic. So Sean, we'll lay off. If you want to speak up, go for it. We're here for you, sir. Fishbag says, Bob, one thing I do not regret is buying the Spartan Harzy, which just arrived 3 hours ago. Very nice. Okay, speaking of Spartan Harzy and speaking of Ben Odie, I'll show you this because Spartan Harzy is a bit of a stand-in here. Angry Tom's hat next door. Nice to have you here, sir. Good evening, everyone. Sometimes I tell myself I'm not going to buy a knife. Then I change my mind and they're sold out. Oh, my wife just giggles at me. That's good. That's it. That's kind of like the ribbing we were just doing. You kind of deserve it. You should have gotten that knife earlier. I wish I could get the Spyderco Warrior. That would be sweet. That's the Goblin, right? The one with the curved blade and the fighting knife with the serrated back edge curved. Bobby Rains, nice to have you here, sir. Maker of some of the most incredible fighting bowies that could possibly be had these days. Bobby, I have not stopped wanting to have mine. So please, one of these days, let's talk. Let's talk, Bobby. Bobby, let's talk. Just finished stitching up a sheath, and now I'm something. And now I'm ready for Thursday Night Knives. Yes, Bobby. You can see him in action in some videos with Rolando Escotada at a seminar that Sean Clark also attended up in Saratoga Springs. I was going to go, but I had to change my plans. It looked like an awesome time. And Bobby was the uke. Is that what they call it in Japanese martial arts? The guy that the master demonstrates on. And there's some really cool stuff there. Bobby clearly does not just make great Bowie knives, but he knows how to handle them. Kyle Kunley, nice to have you here, sir. Oh, I have some of Kyle's work right here too. Where'd it go? All right. Sharpening phenom, turned the Perfrico into an actual dagger for me. Bob, good to see y'all are in. I will in prayers. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I will need your address when you get a moment to send your homestead. Oh, okay. I will give it to you. And I took the Spyderco Street Bowie that you offered to help me make cool, the one that I broke, and it's now sitting on my desk at work under my legal pad, and I have to send it off tomorrow. I just didn't have time today, but I can't wait for that. That will be very cool. Jarabetus, Blades and Booze. Good to have you here, Jarabetus. I've passed up a couple of Carruthers knives. I regret. That sucks. I do not have a Carruthers, and we just were talking about them last week. I'd like to get one. What I say? Some J.J. Smith custom Hamon camp knives, along with a few other custom knives. I think I regret buying from John from Heavyset, who scammed people. Yeah, I just saw a video of his recently, like an EDC video, and I was like, oh, is he back? And I guess, made things right. I sort of assumed he had, otherwise, like, it might be a little less public until you've made everything right. Because I know people, man, who among us has not faulted, but that's big when you take someone's money, in any case. I don't know the full situation, so I'm not going to speak on it. But I heard his knives were pretty darn good. Waylon Godfrey, nice to have you here, sir. Hey, guys. Hey to you, Waylon. Alex says, my biggest regret, well, more of a misfortune. I bought a ZT999 after 15 minutes. Knife Center called to say they were refunding me because they sold too many and didn't have one for me. That stings, man. It's like, well, that's like when they overbook an airplane. It's like, that's so rude. You don't have the planes for it. Okay, so we are doing hashtag knife for both. The first one is mug. So after we give away the mug, which we'll do before the hour turns, and then we'll give away the knife. By the way, the knife tonight is the CRJB, sorry, right here, the Nanner, a very cool knife. Chewy Ice Mod. Chewy, good to have you here, sir. Not a regret, but I bought a Cold Steel Voyager Gen 1 clip point for $115, which I think was a good price. Yeah, that's a great price. I mean, yeah, that's not a regret at all. That sounds like the opposite. So here it is, the Nanner, but not in that obnoxious yellow, which is kind of cool, but in this green with the obnoxious yellow backspacer. Banana evocative knife, cool sort of scimitar with a great action CJRB build, and I like that pocket clip. Commander Bell, nice to have you here, sir. Good evening, junkies. My biggest regret, I bought my first survival knife from Big Five Sporting Good in 2002. It's a Jeep survival knife. I found out it's not full tang. I still have it as a novelty. Yep, got to do that. My car was broken into in Philly in 1995, and they stole a survival knife I had in the door that my mom had given me, and it was really cool. And then I saw it in the case of a gun show outside of DC years ago, that same model, and I passed it up, and I've always regretted not buying it then, because I was like, it was probably the knife. Who knows? Probably some turd, broke into my car and sold my knife, and here it is years later, and I'm supposed to buy it, and I walk by it. That's a regret. That's a huge regret. Huh. Dang. Shouldn't do that. Fred Ferbemeyer, nice to have you here, sir. Hello, Bob. Well, hello to you, sir. Let me put this away, but before I do, just remember Kyle Kunle and Klingenwerk Sharpening does awesome work. This was a single-edged dagger, so basically a spear point, and but really, really ripe to be a dagger. And he sharpened the back edge and the regular edge, and just it's perfect and super sharp bedside dagger. Uncle Gene, nice to have you here. Uncle Gene, biggest regret is not getting a Winkler field knife while they still made them. I love Winklers, and now I don't know what that looks like in terms of I don't know what the field knife in particular looks like. I have no Winklers, and I got to be honest, the Winkler knives are cool and they're awesome. And Hero Sticks has loaned me. Was it you, Hero? Someone loaned me some Winklers, and they were really well made and beautiful and solid. But what really turned me on were the tomahawks. I loved those, and that's what I aspire to get. Like, if I'm going to spend Winkler money, that's what I want to get. I want to get the Syoc tomahawk personally. Hero Stick says 2 regrets come to mind. First of all, good to have you here, sir. Selling an Arno Bernard I Mamba in Warthog tusk. Ooh, that sounds beautiful. And not pulling the trigger on the Eck Integral when it was in stock. I almost pulled it out tonight. I'm like, I didn't. I pulled out a bunch of Spydercos because that's what I've been thinking about. Oddly enough, Spydercos, huh? Fishbag says, Bob, as a result of reading the title of tonight's episode, I realized I didn't want to live in regret. So an hour ago, I ordered a Sebenza 31. You're welcome. Because I haven't yet even touched a Chris Reeve knife. Fishbag, I'll be sending my bill in the mail. It's less than a Sebenza. Cesario, nice to have you here. Cesario Atan. Oh, dude, I love the sheath you have for the for your Prather Warbowie right there in his avatar. That is awesome. He is an extraordinary sheath maker. A maker of extraordinary sheaths, and that looks like no exception. That looks really cool, like a maroon alligator. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and good folks. My biggest regret is losing my buck 120. Dropped it off the pier at the port of Daman in the Persian Gulf. Dammam? I'm sorry. Dropped it off the pier at the port of Dammam in the Persian Gulf in '91. Recent regret not jumping not jumping on the Work Tough Gear V44C. So you must be about my age, Cesario, if you were in the Persian, if you're in the Gulf War in '91. So thank you for your service. If I'm not being too presumptuous, maybe you were just there, but probably not. Just hanging out there. Anyway, An American Father, good to have you, sir. And I just yesterday opened up the package you sent me. Apparently, it was here for a day. My daughters pointed out that and another box with a couple of really cool books in them. So thank you so much for those magazines, the Knife Magazine hard copies, big, beautiful Knife Magazine hard copies. Thank you, man. Good evening, or good Thursday night, Knives, Bob, Jim, and all of you weirdos. Hope all is well with everyone. All is well here. Hope all is well with you. An American Daughter, welcome. Second time, so maybe we're not so weird. An American Daughter says, hello, Jim, Bob, and Knife Junkies. I hope everybody's having a nice evening. Well, thank you very much. Hope you're having a great evening. Adrian Fighter 35, hope you and your lady are having a great evening. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. My biggest knife regret is not going back to the gun store where I bought my first cold steel and getting an original run SRK in carbon. I don't know how to proceed, but that steel is a carbon 5 or carbon V. No matter what I choose, people correct me. So you tell me, what steel is that in? But I have one. I bought it in 2006 when Mrs. Knife Junkie, before she was Mrs. Knife Junkie, went off to London to open up an office for her company. And I built her a get out of London bag, and that was in it. and it's never really been used. And now it's made it into my knife collection. Mr. Mouse, nice to have you here, Mr. Mouse. Evening, Mr. Junkie. Evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Jay Wesley, hope you're doing well too. Microtech Stitch Auto Shadow came in yesterday. Ooh, what's the shadow part? I mean, I love Microtech Stitch Auto part. What's the shadow part? Is that a smoky finish? Came in yesterday. No regrets, as the bad tattoo meme says. All right, good. I'm glad. Northern Knives, what's up? How you doing, Mike? What's up, Jim, Bob, and Junkies? Happy Thursday night knives to all. Happy Thursday night knives to you, sir. Hope you're doing well up there in your beautiful digs. Jacob Green, nice to have you with us, sir. Good evening, fellow junkies. Just relaxing with my fiance. Well, hello, good evening, Jacob's fiance. Hope you both are doing well. Had a long morning of oral surgery. So we're just taking it nice and slow today. I am sorry to hear that, Jacob. That's the worst. It's not the worst, but that sucks. And I thought my day was kind of, but it sounds like you had a run on the day. So hope you're doing well, and hope you feel better tomorrow, and even better the next day. Brown Sugar, how's it going? Hello, Bob, Jim, and all of the junkies. Well, how you doing? Hope you're doing well on this fine Thursday. Lots of coffee today. Kyle Conley says, if you want, I can wait and ship the homestead back with the one you want me working on. Just let me know. That makes sense. That will also be incentive for me tomorrow to drop it in the mail. Run down to the mail room. Jay Wesley says, I regret not getting a John Graham custom razzle. Regret getting my CRKT SS7 a little. Is that the razzle, CRKT razzle version? Jacob says, my biggest regret is selling my Blade HQ limited edition Kaiser Begleiter 2 in 20 CV. The original price was $70. That sucks. I like those Blade HQ exclusives in their Jade G10 and black blades. And I had a Yojimbo, much like this, except in that color, that I sold to from Buffalo. Who was it? Someone who comes here a lot. No, I want it back. Canary. So I guess that's a regret right there. Canary SK, because now it looks like a little bit of a Yojumbo, Micro Jimbo family is growing here, and it would be nice to have a third one, a third Yojimbo too, is what I mean. Canary SK says it's the unripe nanner. Yes, the unripe nanner. There it is. Tonight's winning could be this, and actually, it's pretty nice in reverse grip too. You just want to be careful with thrusting with this one because there's not much of a guard, though that pistol grip will keep you in good stead. And who's in a knife fight? We're not getting a knife fight. However, I just had a great conversation. Co-Bunny, good to have you here, sir. Says hello. Just had a great conversation with Al Salviti. Where it is. Here we go. Of Regiment Blades and the low vis. And he talks a lot about very, very, very simple forms of knife fighting using this sort of punching technique. And it is very interesting. It's interesting. And he posts a lot of crazy videos on his Instagram of real life confrontations. And it's shocking how quickly they happen and how quickly they finish, if you know what I mean. Northern Knife says, my biggest knife regret is selling a mixed Strider Custom 3 weeks before the company split. Oh, I sold it to a buddy for $1,300. A month later, they were going for north of $3,700. Hey, you're a good friend. You're a good friend because that was already a pretty good price. I'm imagining $1,300 was probably a pretty good price already. Keith Van Hannigan. Keith Van Hannigan, good to have you here, sir. Cheap throwing knives in my youth. Oh yeah, yep. When you wait, you regret using cheap ones, buying them, or explain? Keith, please. Ben says, my regret is a rolling one. When I see a Chris Reeve Knives Umnumzan in stock, I waffle for a few seconds too long, and then it's sold out. Wash and repeat. It happens every time. Oh, Ben, I have a nice Tonto Umnumzan. I got it used. I'm sure you want a new one. I was going to say maybe we could come up with a trade, but what I would want. Anyway, we can talk about it if that ever happens. Kobunny says, "Oh, the Civivi looks nice." Yep. Kyle Coonley doing great work, and you're about to see what he does with my Street Beat Bowie. The Fred Perrin Spyderco fixed blade. I used to carry it around all the time last summer until I threw it into a door that I threw it into a lot outside. It's an old door that I have propped up near the shed, and this time I was being James Bond and doing it as I walked by, and it went and just kind of snapped. So he's going to fix it. It's going to look really cool. Cannot wait. Kobunny says, I regret not getting the North Mountain Blades 80 CRV2 Katana. Yeah. I bet Dave has one of those. I think he's got the ultimate collection of North Mountain Blades. Jerry C, good to have you here, Jerry. Hello, Bob, Jim, and junkies, one and all. It's Thursday Night Knives, baby. Hell yeah. Oh, I love your enthusiasm. Right, two of them right here. Kathleen, nice to have you here, Kathleen Smith. Hello, all. Well, hello to you. Kobunny says, I like the Winkler Williams blades. Tip of my tongue. I can't see them. Or tip of my mind's eye. Matholomew Roberts, good to have you here, Matholomew. Happy Thursday Night Knives, Bob, Jimmy Notes, and Junkies all. Biggest regret, impulse buying beyond my means. We've all done that a time or two, maybe. Leaving me with a large box of knives, I can't motivate myself. A large box of knives, okay. Ooh, Matthew, tell me. Sounds interesting. Clear indication of deeper issues. Tell me about these issues. No, let me tell you about these issues. They're all completely healthy. That a large box of knives, that just means you think highly and largely of yourself, and that's good. That's good. Gotta love yourself to push through in this life. Bobby Rains says, when I finish the knife I'm working on, now you're actually next on the list, Bob. Yes. I'm very excited about that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's really cool to know, actually. I have another... well, my mom and dad ordered something from a maker in Ohio in December, and I thought it was going to be for Christmas, and turns out it's going to be in August around my birthday. So this is going to be the summer and fall of Bowie knives. Beautiful. Red Flag Blades, good to have you here. Sorry for being a little bit obsessive, but Red Flag Blades, nice to have you here, sir. Michael Elliott, designer extraordinaire. 1931 Leatherworks, great to have you here, sir. I happen to have his work right in front of me. This is his leatherwork, beautiful, for my Junkie in crew wear, and at 64, I think. I always forget. But beautiful setup here. Great leather work. Ehsan Bokman, good to have you here, sir. My biggest one was doesn't buy Jack Rawls. Oh, okay. Yes. Me too. My biggest regret was that you didn't buy the Jack Rawls Voyager in XHP. Okay, so let me tell you this. I was regretting that too, because I have almost all of the XL Voyagers, except for that. I have the signature edition Vaquero. I love that. I have a bunch of Vaqueros in the XL, but I wanted that Rawls edition with the half serrated blade. I went on eBay and came this close to buying one, and then I don't remember what it was. Something threw me off, and I started doing my research and saw that someone was trying to sell one that was fake. It was a Fugazi. So be sure, if you're looking around for that Voyager, that Rawls Voyager Really, really look closely, because I know there's at least one guy out there who's trying to pass off a fake. Cobunny says, I love the Strider Valkyrie, but they cost $2,500 and sold out. I would love to buy a cheap clone, though. Okay, let me ask you this, guys. Does anyone know, especially anyone who knows anything about Strider, especially Strider history, do you know of a knife, an old fixed blade knife by Strider called I think it's called the Tiger, and it's crazy looking? Anyone know about that? I'm going to put that out there, see if anyone knows. I think it's called Tiger. And I saw this knife. I was in Jesse. Good to have you here, Jesse. Evening, all. I was in a bookstore in Chinatown in San Francisco, milling around, and I saw this knife book. It was actually a Chinese book or a Japanese bookstore, or it had a lot of Japanese books, and there was a Strider book there, or a knife book, and I'd never heard of Strider, but I saw that knife. Have a Knife Day says, and I'll tell you about it in a sec. No. We are that weird, and now she's one of us. Yes, one of us. Picked up this book, saw this crazy knife, and I always remembered the name Strider, and I think it was called Tiger. Look it up, guys. Check it out. It is so cool. I think that's what it's called. Good evening from the Dominican Republic, MG-ST. We're going to call you MG. Good to have you here, MG. Dominican Republic. I've been there twice. It is beautiful. Of course, as a tourist, it's beautiful getting to the tourist spot too. Like the whole island was just beautiful, or at least that half of the island. So it's really, really nice to have you here, sir or ma'am. Probably, sir. I regret not getting the Spyderco Sage 4 due to mixed reviews. Then wanting to get one once discontinued. Also impossible to get. Is that the Butch Ball one with the ball lock? Because I think that one kind of came and went quickly. Esan says, bro, our Grivery Voyage is durable as G10 knives as Espadas. I want to get old Zytel ones, but I'm afraid because handle is basically plastic. Okay, the plastic is super durable. Do I have one? I do not have one out on the table. I do have one of these here, and for my purposes, this will work. So this is a tie light. The construction is a little different, and the handle material, they're both Zytel, but this is treated a little differently and smoother and everything. But they both have steel liners. It's just the Voyager are nested, so you can't see them from the side. But they're very strong. This handle is plastic. That's the worst part about it. It's kind of charmless. There's not much beauty to it, but it's super strong plastic. And then it's backed up by steel liners, relatively thick steel liners. And in the Voyager's case, they're inset. So I said this before. So that means the plastic comes around it and you can't see them. So strength is not an issue. The issue is, do you want the plastic? And if you don't care, which I certainly don't, not for the kind of knife a Voyager is, it's not a dress knife. Excuse me. Totally go for it without reservation. They're pretty awesome. Ichthyandr, nice to have you here, sir. Hey guys, he says. Well, hello to you. Looking stolid. Speaking of Tiger, that was a Tiger there, and don't forget to look that up. Strider Tiger. I'm gonna write this down too. Let's see. Ginger Fisher, good to have you here. Biggest regret is thinking I was past the age of people stealing from you. Lost about $2,000 worth of knives while on vacation. Oh God. Wait. What's SMH? Shaking my head. So someone broke into your house? Oh God, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That sucks. That is awful. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I think of that every time I go away on vacation. And I'm sure a lot of us think of that, and I'm sorry that happened to you. Jacob Green says, the silver lining with the oral surgery is that I realized I'm engaged to a superhero. Excellent. Well, I hope you both make it through. Don't be sometimes my wife says men are babies. I think I've proven she doesn't say that too much anymore because I've learned not to complain and to be like stoic when I'm sick. It's okay, honey. I've got it. You know, that kind of stoic. So she doesn't complain much anymore. But yeah, man, it sounds like you've got a good one by your side. Crispy Bacon. Nice to have you here, Crispy. Biggest regret is not discovering this channel sooner. Ah, you flatter, sir. I appreciate that, man. I do indeed. What do we have here? Oh, is this? No. Okay, so this is the tiger striping, but this was a fixed blade. It was a fixed blade of crazy shape. It looked to my in my if I'm remembering correctly, it had many edges. It looked kind of like a Lacey Zabo design. Hey guys, says Edgy American Blades. Shane, how you doing? Speak of the devil. And what's the rest of that? I don't know. But Shane, thank you so much, man. Or so nice to have you here. I just had this out talking about it. I'm not sure if you saw that. And because of you, I'm going into a little Spyderco, small Spyderco rabbit hole here. This is a knife I bought from him in immaculate shape and super sharp. Byron, nice to have you here, sir. Split and slices. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Thursday night knives. Biggest knife regret is certainly not purchasing a Spartan Harsey folder for my own. I have for a special gift. Oh, very nice. Wait. Biggest knife regret is certainly not purchasing a Spartan Harsey folder for my own. Well, I have for a special gift. I'm assuming that's a special gift to yourself, and you deserve it. I know you do. Jacob Green says, Knife Junkie, do you have a P.O. box for channel-related mail? I have been holding on to something I found at Blade Show West last year. It's helped me a lot, and I want to pay it forward to you. Oh, how cool. Thank you, Jacob. Yes. Actually, no, but just send me an email, TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. I'll get right back to you. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I will accept it. And then when the time is right, I will do the same. Sounds like it's that kind of item. Shane says, I regret wasting so much time and money in the budget knife realm, as do I. And Jim, I think I know what you're talking about. Yes, my mouth is dry. That's what's happening to me right now. Not happening to me. That's what I am doing right now. I am finally I pulled a few Civivis out from the bunch and some surprises, some real surprises. I'm just cutting some ties with certain great knives that I never carry. That's it. But it's real slow going. I mean, out of hundreds, I have like 12 out on my counter. I'm like, yeah, man, you did the work, bro. Terminator Joe says, I own a lot of Espada XLs, but I regret not getting the older ones with the CTS XHP steel. Okay. All right. I'm ashamed to admit, I just like the way CTS XHP sounds. What do you guys notice about the steel that's so awesome? Because I also like it. I also am proud that I have a bunch of cold steels in XHP. But why am I proud? Tell me. Remind me. I know it's great, but I even like their 8CR13 MOV. Everything I get from Cold Steel is heat treated so well that I don't notice the difference. And that, of course, is taking into account I am not a hard user on a daily basis. Jeremy Nedro, good to have you here, sir. I regret buying a kukri without the Carda and Chapmuk. And I think those are the two little extra tools, right? One's kind of a sharpener, a honer, and the other's like a mini knife. Is that right? Charles Faulkner Jr. That's a powerful name, Charles Faulkner. Good to have you here, sir. Whoa. Was that whoa or whoa? Woo. Woo. All right. Good to have you here, Charles. Johnny Evans, nice to have you here. Oh, I think I said already hello. Want to thank you, Bob and Mike. I ordered don't say a griffin or I'll freak out. Strings, nice to have you here, sir. But Johnny, I'm happy to have enabled. Let me put it that way. Strings says, what's up, Bob, Jim, and knife junkies of the world? Happy Thursday night knives. Biggest knife regret was losing my first knife given to me by my uncle. Damn. Was only an old timer, but wish I had it for sentimental reasons. No doubt. And I bet that old timer would still work probably flawlessly today. Glazehound, nice to have you here, Glazehound. Biggest regret was starting my knife collection journey with a Benchmade Claymore. Oh, interesting. Knife is okay, but much better knives to buy for the money. No doubt. But when you're first starting out, a Benchmade is a pretty, that's a pretty, spendy first knife. And oftentimes Benchmade is what's presented. And I've worked around a lot, I've worked around a lot of police and fire here and there over the years, and they all love them, and the military guys love them too, and that's great, and that's where they're marketed to. And I could see you buying that for your first great knife, but it's awesome to move beyond what those first ideas are, and to really hone in on your taste. I say hone in this case. Apparently, you can say hone and home, and they basically mean the same thing. But since we're knife talking, Hero Sticks. I know I keep carrying on, but Pete's Pirate Life Knives, but the Civivi collaboration he did arrive. I got to start this from the top, Hero. I'm sorry. I know I keep carrying on about Pete's Pirate Life Knives, but the Civivi collaboration he did arrived today. The Iron Tide. What a cool name. And it gets my high praise. Fantastic overall, and a ting on deployment. I'm afraid I don't know that one. The Iron Tide. That better be a swashbuckler. Better have some sort of exciting blade. Johnny Evans says Mac 4 and another knife from Northern Knives. Oh, I gotcha. Cool. I'm going to check with them first, but now whenever I buy a knife, great support he gives the show, and service is incredible, and the knives are awesome. Todd Carr, nice to have you here, Todd. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Good evening to you. Nice to have you here with us. I'm not mad at you. El Garito 33. Hey, good to have you here, El Garito. Hello, everyone. Selling my Ringer 3.5 J cape. Oh, that sounds like a hard thing to do, man. Sounds like a hard thing to do. But anyone in the chat, want that, you know where to reach them. Ultor 390. Ultor. Good to have you here, Ultor. Afternoon, everyone from Hawaii. How cool. Hawaii. Well, thank you for joining us. And it's cool to know that we're talking to people in Australia. We're talking to people in Hawaii. We're talking to who else was I just talking to? Somewhere. Oh my gosh. But yeah, we're talking to the world, man. This is awesome. Everyone loves knives. Everyone. My biggest knife regret is not being able to get the REC River's Edge Cutlery Shaman, but still able to get the Blade HQ Cutlery Shop and KJ. Oh, should I get a Shaman? Ultor, I just was mentioning how I'm digging the Spydercos, and actually these are three. Well, here are three that I've carried a lot recently. And with an also ran with that one. I love the police model, and but I've been thinking of getting this in the crew wear, or should I get the Shaman? Tell me. HCL Salt. Good to have you here, sir. My regret is a replica Ikuchi Tanto that I ordered. It's beautiful, but has a terrible smell that I can't get rid of. I bet it's made in Pakistan, and that's not a diss to the country, but Pakistan knives, there's something that has an odor that it smells like copper, kind of. So bad you have to wash your hands. Yep. I'm betting that's what it is. Anyone else know what I mean about that? About Pakistani knives? Edgy American Blade says, Bob, wait until you see the 1931. Oh, 1931's recent work. He gets levels better with every sheet. Oh, God, I can't wait. I'm very much looking forward to that. That's going to be awesome. Okay, so I'm going to get my Spyderco in the mail to Kyle. And then by the time that happens, the knife will be that. It'll all work out beautifully. Can't wait to get it soon here. Red Flag Blade says biggest knife regret not getting into knife making more seriously earlier. Yeah, right here. Not that I've gotten to it seriously at all, or I've made a couple here and there, and staying with it. There you go. Me too. It's just I did a run of bushcraft knives for 3 months, then got burnt out. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I did one-offs for like about a year, several years back, and I keep thinking I need to start. Now that my girls are a little bit older, well, now that my older daughter is just about to get her full-on license, she'll drive the other daughter, and then I can start knife making. Todd Carr says biggest knife regret is not keeping the one I forged when I was young. Oh, wasn't much of anything, but it was the first knife I ever made. Todd, tell us more about your current knife making, if you are, because the way you said that, I want to know more. Shooter, good to have you here. Good evening, junkies. My biggest knife regret is selling an Ontario. I think you just mentioned this, like maybe last week, and I remember feeling the gut punch of that because I want that knife so badly. A, and B, someone who's really cool that I really like, that I only ever see once a year at Blade Show, last year said, "Oh, I have one. And when I get back to my house in California, I'll send it to you." And I was like, I know that's never going to happen, but oh, God, oh, thank you. I wish it would. So those things are so cool. And they're so expensive on the secondary market. And they were so reasonable when they were out many, many years ago. It wasn't reasonable at the time, though, for me. Bartholomew Roberts says, thanks for the encouraging words, Bob. I'm good enough, smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. Who's that? Stuart Smalley? No. Who was that? Can't wait to see the Rains, Bowie. You're worth it too, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate that. HCL Salt says, my North Mountain Blades Chop 2 just arrived. Yes. Love that. New knife day. HCL Salt, congratulations. It's got this cool copper vein hamon on the blade, and it looks great in JG10. I'm a sucker for JG10, just not too transparent. I don't need to see the guts. Or the ribs, Northern Knives says, I need a knife suggestion to carry to Blade Show. I have everything picked out, but need one more. What do you think? You have I feel like a special Microtech, oddly enough, the only Microtech I have out here is a fixed blade, and it's a very special Microtech that I traded with Dave for. But like, I'm wondering, or a special Hinderer, but a special Microtech. I don't know why that's the first thing that came to me. If you have like a Marfione custom or something like that. I feel like you've mentioned that before, maybe not. Ooh, boy. Sean Clark says, Bob, I want to say thank you to Alan Elishowitz. I had a mark on handle of McVie SOG he told me he sent it back. He bead blasted it, got it back to me quick, but he put in $25 for shipping. Oh man, that's cool. I want to say thank you to Alan Elishowitz. Wait, was this that McVie SOG? Is this but do you have the folder or do you have the new fixed? I think you bought the new fixed blade with a sharpened swedge and the whole 9 yards. I want that. But gosh, why do these things fill me with such desire? Hero Stick says, more regrets coming. I had the Swiss Army champion with like 50 things on it when I was a kid. Prized possession lost in college on a boozy adventure. Hey guys, I got it. I got this knife. It's got like everything. That's it falling like down the cliff. Sierra Rick, speaking of cliffs, good to have you here, Rick. And I only say that, Rick, because, Sierras. Good to have you here with us. Good evening, all. Biggest regret owning 5 Bark River knives. I should have seen through Mike Stewart. Okay. Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. And I'm saying, well, let me put it to you this way, Rick. I don't know when you bought those BRKs. I have 4, and they're all like, I don't know, 8 years and older. And to me, I'm like, I feel like I'm safe, but once a bullshitter, always a bullshitter, no doubt. But mine, I've actually banged around, and they're great, and I love them, and I'm not getting rid of them. And in this case, I'm separating the art from artist. Like I love, like one of my all-time favorite movies is Crimes and Misdemeanors by Woody Allen, and I'm not a big fan of Woody Allen the man, but I love that movie. So that's what I'm doing with my Bark River knives. Caravaggio, he stabbed a man, killed a man in a bar fight, and he escaped by swimming down the Arno, I think. And he got back in the church's good graces with a painting of a saint whose name I don't recall. But see, separate the art from the artist. You can't say Caravaggio is a bad painter just because he wasn't the nicest guy. Carlos Ventura, nice to have you here. That's another great name. We got some great names. Biggest regret, losing my first big knife purchase. Ooh, what was it? Only carried it about 3 weeks. The Benchmade Riff. It was nice. The Riff is my favorite of that series. The 940, not interested. The Contigo I liked a lot. The handle was a little abrasive, but great blade. But the Riff I thought was the perfect Midland. I never had one, but I had handled them. I thought those were cool. Great looking blade on that knife too. Benny's dad, nice to have you here, Benny. Benny's dad, howdy everyone. Happy Thursday night knives. My biggest regret is that I am not a refined collector. I'm just an indiscriminate hoarder. Be kind. Give yourself a little grace, sir. There must be some method to your madness. You just have to justify it out onto paper and kind of figure it out, and then burn the paper and just kind of remember what sticks. Okay, so we have to show this off because we have to give this away because we have a knife to give away also. So we're going to do this in a few minutes. Zachary Schmid, nice to have you here, sir. Hashtag knife will get you this. So the first thing we're giving away 2 things tonight, this and a knife. So this is the Terzuola mug. This is a prototype, hand-thrown, beautiful stonework ceramic. What's it called? Dang. I'm having a freeze up here, but beautifully glazed and a prototype so different from how they turned out. I know they made some blue ones. This is the one that I have. This is from the run that came out before, and I guess this is the current run, and this is the prototype for it. Anyway, there are a couple of these he sent me, and they're beautiful. He says there are flaws in this. Stoneware, that's what it's called. But I couldn't find a flaw anywhere. I love the handle on this one. It's really great. That little handle works perfect for my medium-sized hands. But any sort of, you got big giant sausage fingers, you could at least get 2 through there. So Terzuola hashtag knife. Ben Odie, Benedict Odie, you see him in the chat here. He is a great artist, great designer, and also guiding Bob Terzuola through the world of design and merch beyond the incredible handmade knives that the godfather of the tactical knife himself makes. Okay, so in 5 minutes, we give this away. Jim, keep me honest. 5 minutes, we give that sucker away. So hashtag knife if you want that mug. Zachary Schmid says, the one thing I don't regret was sending my knife sketch for the Very Good Knife Company Lone Star Gen 2 dropping tomorrow. I like that. That was I like how that was well done. All right. We got to see that. Gen 2 Lone Star. Jim, when you have a spare second, which I know isn't often. You said Gen 2 Lone Star. That's the Very Good Knife Company. Man, and they do make very good knives. Cliff Brot. Good to have you here, sir. Sup, fam? How you doing, sir? How's that delicious looking salmon? Steelhead? What is that? Man, I want to go fishing. It's been about 40 years. No, more. Isn't that crazy? It was with my grandpa. He used to take me fishing. Jeremy Nedro says, I love the way XHP sharpens and holds a great edge. So is the edge, do you find the XHP works better as a toothy edge? I'm not sure. Ben Odie says, I regret waiting so long to get the Agent 001 and many other fine TKL knives. What's the knife he's talking about? I can't quite place it in my mind's eye. Oh, the Agent 001. He's talking about this. And you know that Ben has a refined taste because you can see the kind of work he curates and produces through his own talents and the talents of others. So he was talking about he loves this TKL knife. Let me tell you, we got TKL. You can get 10% off if you use the coupon code. I have another TKL knife I want to put out here while I tell you about this. Go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/TKL, and at checkout, it takes you to the TKL website, but at checkout, you put in Knife Junkie, and that creates a coupon code. Well, Knife Junkie is the coupon code. You get 10% off. Wouldn't you love 10% off on one of these beautiful knives, especially the Agent 001? I'm loving this thing, especially in the second run. I mean, I was very impressed with how our design was interpreted in the first run, but with Nick Chuprin and NCC knives behind the CNC of this latest run, they're just flawless and stupendous. And I really love how it turned out. Ooh, Victor, Staten Island Edge. How you doing, man? Check out his new channel and subscribe. Staten Island Edge. Victor says, hey, Bob, Jim, fellas, hope everyone is excellent. Thank you, Victor. Hope you like coffee, and I hope you like hand-thrown ceramics, because in about 3 minutes, we're going to be doing a giveaway. Hashtag knife, though, even though it's a mug, of the Terzuola, which, you know, Italian name, it would stand to reason, Victor, that you might want this. So let's do this. Everyone, hashtag knife, because I know everyone here probably drinks a liquid of some sort. Shane says, I've not been impressed by XHO. I've only had one. Maybe it was a dud. What's XHO? Why am I not? Oh, XHP. Okay, duh. XHP. John Sisney, nice to have you here, John. I love that fish knife. Losing my 2.110 and a pair of Sevens Bluff. I don't know what that is. Sevens Bluff. Oh. Losing. Oh, okay. Gambling. Losing my 2.110 on a pair of Sevens Bluff. Ooh, dude. You're like, can we exchange this for a different 110? Okay, before we do the giveaway, let me show you what we're going to give away next week, also from Terzuola Design. And this is really sweet. Okay, so this is a knife case. I have a Cold Steel click and cut folder on the way. Oh, those are cool. That'll come in handy for fishing and hunting and such. This is like super, super nice, like nylon, or not nylon, but like Cordura. So this is a 6 knife and then other stuff behind it carry case. And I loaded it up with some of my girthiest fixed blades or folding knives. A couple couldn't fit, like my ridiculously large Greg Lightfoot and one or two others. But I'll show you what does fit. The huge XM24. So you want to travel, you want to carry something awesome, something big like this, or I know it will fit Terzuola custom knives. So if you're a total G and you got that, got a bunch of those and you're going to travel, or say you're James. I know James has a lot of really sweet custom knives, and sometimes they tend towards the large. So maybe this will work. But you can fit a stitch in there. You can fit here's an SMF, the big Strider. And then I have a Spartan Harzi folder. I have a what do you call this? Demco 8020 in there, and that Resco Instruments. And so those are some big blades, some big chunky knives. But when you put it in here and you zip it up, it really takes care of it. It's hard to do on camera. There you go. And then you have a handy little handle here. So you can walk around the airport with your knives, or not the airport, but you can walk around your destination and have your knives right here in hand. It's a great look. No, I'm just kidding. Don't carry it around, but this is a handle so you can pull it out of your backpack or wherever you're stashing it. Ideal for a blade show, definitely ideal for any sort of travel. But we're going to give that away this week in about 30 seconds. We're going to give away this mug. That slow draw feel. Good to have you here at that slow draw feel. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and crew. Biggest #knife regret was not buying a Gen 1 Nichols Damascus Menandi. Oh, those are beautiful. Oh, those are beautiful Menandis. You don't see them too much. Haven't seen one on the secondary ever since. The Nichols Damascus, I'm sure. Co Bunny says, tomorrow I get a short sword from Amazon, only $90 for 14 inches of 1065 and a G10 handle. That sounds like a fix. That sounds like an impulse buy. Gotta get a sword. I just want a sword. I just want a sword, but I don't want to spend $100. Well, tell us how it is next week, Co-Bunny. And believe me, I understand that. I understand that sort of instinct. Speaking as a guy who buys cheap $3 bait knives. Northern Knives says the Strider Tiger is a crazy exaggerated version of the famous Nightmare grind and a paracord handle. Yeah. And it's got like a sickle, not a sickle shape, almost like a kukri, but also like a semicircular cutout and something happening on the back. It's like a cross between a kukri and one of those cool African throwing knives with all the different tines, if I'm remembering it right. Karen Slavin says, good evening, fellow junkies. Good to have you here, James. Didn't get a notification, but here now. Biggest regret is not starting to collect at a younger age so I could enjoy them more. #knife. Well, enjoy them while you got them, man. And every day. I always kind of overdo it. Keep them around me. Keep them, enjoy them while you can. DJ Hoff, good to have you here, DJ. What do you think about Fred? Oh my God. What do you think about Fred Perrin knives, such as the Le Bowie? The Le Bowie, I have a Le Bowie neck knife over there. I love Fred Perrin. And Fred Perrin knives are nice. They're well made. The one that I have is extremely well ground. It's a little Bowie. It's a neck knife. I can just barely get. It's like a 3-finger knife, 3.5-finger knife, but with that deep choil, and the blade itself is the guard, and it's a full flat grind and super thin behind the edge. It's so damn sharp. It is a great knife. And then there's a cheaper run of knives that he does too, and I like those also. And he's the real deal. He did some stuff on me. I struck up a conversation with him at Blade Show like 2023 or something like that, and he showed me some really cool little weapons, improvised weapons he had on him, and also ones that he was selling. And then he did some cool moves on me and basically, incapacitated me, or could have. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says, everybody digs your show, Knife Junkie. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. All right, let's do this. Let's give this away, shall we? Those Pakistan D2 clones are tempting, but I haven't bought any though. Yeah. I mean, buy with care. Proceed with caution. All right. Oh, by the way, Ben, this looks really cool. The badge, the Terzuola badge on this one looks like leather. The way that glaze is. This is just such a beautiful mug. I would be killed by my daughters if I kept another mug. They're urging me to get rid of some mugs because they're the ones who put the dishes away. And my collection is out of control. I do have to do something about it. But I'm going to make room. Anyway, guys, let's do this. Let's give away this Terzuola mug. 64 entries. All right, let's do this in 3, 2, and 1. All right, and then after this, we get to the knife. giveaway. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's see who. Oh, Adrian Fighter 35. You and the missus will be doing you sipping from this awesome mug real soon. I just have to get it sent to you. And I think that will probably be on Monday. So here you go. Cheers to you. I'm happy to send this off to you guys. And Ben, thank you so much for sending this. That's really appreciated. I'm going to write this down so I don't forget. This would be a bad thing to forget. So mug. Okay. HCL Salt says the stinking one was from China, actually. Oh, interesting. The case of the stinking knife. Co-Bunny says Pakistan made a clone of the Miller M13 or something, $130, didn't buy. I hate that. I hate the clone thing. I really do. I don't like the clone thing. Let's see. Co-Bunny says, I got me some North Mountain Knife Tontos. I'm sorry. I got me some North Mountain Tontos recently. Got the basic 10-inch in SLD Magic. That is a cool steel. I have that on the BBMN of theirs. Black and regular. I also got the Chop 4 Tonto. Finally been looking at it for months. It's a beautiful knife. Beautiful knife. That knife strikes me visually similarly to how the K2 from Riyadh Tonto. I love that. I carried that recently. It's just such a beautiful Tonto. You just look at it. It's stunning. Johnny Evans says, I downloaded the Legal Blade app you mentioned a few weeks ago. It's great. So I watched your interview with Doug Ritter this week. I bought one of his auto knives today. Oh, it's so good to help support him in his week. That's awesome. Thank you, Johnny. That's so cool. I appreciate that because that was what we hope the outcome is. And that blade, you buy that knife and it helps support knife rights. It helps support Doug Ritter so he can do knife rights. And he's changed the law in 39 states so far, including my own. I can own. It's legal for me to own and carry switchblades now, automatic knives, as of 2022. I encourage everyone to join or support his work, as I have taken for granted all the work Legal Blade has done for us. Yep. Legal Blade is the app, and kniferights.org is the organization. And Doug Ritter is the man, and he's the guy behind the Ritter Grip, the Ritter Grip Tillion, which later turned into the Hogue RSK Mark I. Great knife. I'm going to carry my Marfione custom beard cone to blade. It is settled. That's awesome. Well, make sure you also, see, I knew it. There had to be some special Marfione for some reason. But you also have to have something sharp. So I recommend a Riot on the belt. Scott E. Dog, good to have you here, Scott. Howdy, all involved. My greatest regret was turning down Howard Clark back when we were friends. He offered me an unpolished Tonto at mate's rates. I said no thanks. Now I say no, you idiot, Scotty. That's funny that you say that, Scott, because it's just funny. I would never turn down a knife, and you wouldn't either now. And it's funny, but I don't know who that guy is, and it sounds like that was kind of like a Dave getting rid of the Terzawilla Chris. Dave, sorry, don't mean to keep bringing it up, but it's a cautionary tale. Let's be honest. Fishbag says, Bob, I'm kind of glad I came upon the knife hobby so late in life. If I had found it before, fly fishing, cigar aficionadoing, painting, or any other hobby, I'd love to see your paintings. I'd love to find out about your paintings. Or any other hobby, I'd most definitely have 10,000 knives by now. That's the thing. It's like, something's got to give. I can't keep up at this pace. That's why I'm starting to put up some of mine for giveaways. I'll do. Johnny Sack, good to have you here, Johnny. Hello, guys. Biggest regret is not tuning into your show sooner. So much knowledge about knives. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. I do indeed. And so welcome. And we do this every Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every once in a while, something comes up and I have to cancel. But pretty much we've been doing this for about 8 years now, Jim, right? 8 years for Knife Junkie podcast. I think 7 years for Thursday Night Knives. Kobunny says the price of vintage Japanese cold steel knives has gone down, I think. The negativity of the GSM thing even brought down the price of the good old cold steels. I don't know about that. I think maybe the old cold steels are easier to clone. I could be mistaken, but I think that might be the case because you don't have to clone the triad lock and all the complicated. I don't know if that's actually complicated. So I don't really know what I'm talking about because I've never made a clone. Why? Have you? Todd Carr says, not a current knife maker, Bob, but was when I was around 19 or 20. I'm 54 now. Put her there, Todd. 54. Me too. I was at a friend's place whose dad was making basic knives in carbon steel, was made from a spring from an old truck. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool memory. That sucks you don't have that. D. Letterman, well, maybe one day you forge another one and try and relive the magic. It's a lot of fun. I've forged one knife. D. Letterman says, evening, and no, I didn't actually. I take that back. I'll explain it later. Jock's Knife, good to have you here, Jock. Good evening, all. Sorry for the tardiness. I don't feel tardy. What's that from? I know you guys all know this because many of us are of a certain age. Sean Clark says, yes, it's the fixed Max V SOG with the sharpened top edge. Absolutely love it. I'm so happy for you, Sean. I recently bought an Ontario Bill Bagwell Hells Bells Midnight black bladed version. It was expensive, but I wanted it. And I'm happy. I'm happy doubly for you, Sean. That's so nice. Someone's got to have those knives. No. Bunny says, I saw a Benchmade Nimmervis prototype for $350. I kind of wish I bought it, but not really. I always thought the Nimmervis was really cool. I also thought the Seabird, the Shane Seabird knives. Oh, so beautiful. Rolando Escotada, how you doing, sir? Only regret selling my Camelus Cuda Max 5.0 Daryl Ralph folding bow. Yes, that is a regret. I sold it to a great friend many years ago. Those were the days I thought knife makers and knife companies live forever. Yes, Rolando, we've talked about that on this show so many times. If you love it, if you really, really keep thinking about it, just get it. And if you have to sell it, you sell it. This case in point, if it weren't for strings, I wouldn't have this thing. And I love this. And man, Lynn Thompson needs to revive this with his new company. Craig says, that's a good one, Bob. Paint a saint band you ain't. I just made that up. That's good. That was basically the rule. You're a good enough painter. Psh, yeah, it's all right. He was kind of a scumbag anyway. Just painting a Saint Peter, you'll be fine. Kobunny says, I kind of want to buy more Terzuola knives like the Civivi Tamashi E. I have that knife. I love that knife. And actually, Dave of OG Blade Reviews gave us one of those for giveaway, and it's here. I just have been dragging my feet on giving it away. Not dragging my feet. It's packed somewhere. I'll get it. Lone Star Dowboy. So now we're talking in Turkey too. Lone Star, great to have you here, sir. Regret that I got caught up in the knife industry's insidious fear of losing out by always wanting the next new knife, which was backed up by content creators. Present company excluded, of course. Don't you want this sumptuously folding blade? Yeah, a lot of that kind of knife porn got people into it. Excuse the expression. Edgy American Blade says, I'd be interested in buying that mug if the winner wasn't passionate about it. I like that. And that said, that's a great, Wolf Dog Armory. Great to have you here. We had an awesome conversation on the Knife Junkie podcast. Great to have you here, sir. Good evening, all, he says. Now that that Wolf Dog Armory is here, And we haven't gotten to this yet. Let's now get to a pocket check.
What's in his pocket? Let's find out. Here's the Knife Junkie with his pocket check of knives.
So today in my front right pocket, I had the Aurelia by Manganas Steel. I've just been loving this knife ever since I first saw it. When Sharif showed off this design during the interview we did and said it was coming soon. And I was like, I'll never get it because I never jump on drops and that kind of thing. And then I saw him at Blade Show and we did an interview, and then he gave this to me. And man, that is you know, it's really cool to get knives from Civivi and companies like that. And they're like, here, try this knife. And yeah, that's awesome. And then oftentimes I'll give it away here, or I'll keep it and then later give it away. But when someone, a designer whose blood, sweat, and tears go into the designing and the producing of this, Riyadh made this. I mean, he produced it like someone produces a movie. And Riyadh, you know, created it beautifully. And the design is amazing. Speaking of Bob Terzuola, he examined this knife. I had the good fortune of going to a diner with him after Blade Show, and I showed this off to him, and he really, really dug it. Said it was very impressive. He also said, "That's my clip." I thought that was funny. But yeah, he was pretty impressed with this knife, and it is one of my all-time favorite folding knives, period. And that was going to be my big purchase at Blade Show last year. At Blade Show, I tend to do one big folding knife purchase. I mean, I get a lot of folding knives. I get a lot of knives, but one, like, you know, really great folding knife purchase, and that was that year. Okay, so next in my back pocket, I had this, and I'm worried about this getting scuffed because it's so perfect right now. But this is the Feel Better Jack by Jack Wolf Knives, and this is this whole colorway material combination is just really beautiful. It's so beautiful to me. I love the bronzed anodized bolsters, triple fluted bolsters there, and then you see there are the blasted titanium covers with that sort of radiating fluted pattern milled into the titanium. Like there's something incredible happening right up above the knife that you can't quite see, but you're seeing its radiance and its splendor. It's just, I don't know, man. To me, this is like looks like a Art Deco masterpiece from I don't know, Art Deco days, the 20s and 30s. Is that what that was? 20s and 30s. Just beautiful. I love it. Also a great knife, and based on their doctor's knife, the Feel Good Jack, which is a huge seller. I'm surprised he didn't come out with a flipping, locking version of this sooner. But that's a 3 1/4 inch blade, and overall 8 inch, 7. Oh wait, it barely stays on its own because it's very thin. But excellent back pocket carry. It goes right next to my bandana in my back left pocket. Or around the house, it's been in just my front right pocket. Okay, next on my belt today, I proudly carried the TKL Knives Night Stalker. I put Agent Night Stalker. It's not the Agent Night Stalker. Sorry, Jim. And sorry, everyone out there, for the misinformation. It's just the Night Stalker. I'm just so used to typing Agent that I did. But this is what I carried today. And I love this. This is different from my first Night Stalker, which was the knife that inspired the design of the Agent 001, because of its size and carry envelope. I carried it all the time, and wanted to design a knife that would fit into that. So this knife is great, is what I'm saying. But this latest version, with Nick Chuprin and NCC at the mill there, and a really nice thin blade stock. It's super light and just a great knife. This is, if you're wondering what TKL knife to start with, this is the signature, I think still probably the most selling TKL knife, and I love it. And in reverse grip, I carry it so that I draw it primarily in reverse grip in my right hand, but just for purposes here, grip it and rip it. It comes out very comfortably. It sits in the fist comfortably without having to do much changing of your grip or any at all. And the sheath itself is awesome and rides beautifully with that ulti clip. All right, last up for emotional support. This was a recent purchase. This was a poor me. I'm not going to Blade Show this year, so I'm going to buy myself a nice knife. And then Matt Chase, who's a very smart guy, sends me a text. It's like he heard my thought. Sends me a text. Look at the sacks I made, dude. And I was like, yeah, we've been talking about making me a sacks for years. And he made it to bring to a, I thought he made it to just tease me, but he didn't. He made it to bring to a medieval festival up in Massachusetts or somewhere in New England. And I was talking to him about it, and I said, man, I'm shocked that Sachs didn't sell to some Viking nerd or some Anglo-Saxon LARPer. Like, this is the most incredible looking thing, you know, with that. That's elk. And that's, you know, micarta. Like, how did this not sell? And with this sheath that dangles by the side by your kilt and all of that. And he was like, not very medieval anymore. It's more like let your freak flag fly. So every manner of weirdness and deviance shows up to the medieval festival, except the guys in the medieval costumes. So he's like, not my people, and not too many people bought my stuff. So I was the beneficiary of the death of that Renaissance fair, in that no one bought this, and it's now mine, and I love it. And it's so sharp. It is incredibly sharp. Obviously, you can tell from the point. The point is just sickeningly sharp, but that beautiful Damascus steel edge is really sharp. And I wrote down the steels. I asked him what it was. It is 1084 and 15 and 20 with nickel. So those three materials went into that blade, and he just does beautiful work. And he had mercy on me when in terms of pricing, because he's a great guy. And he felt for me that I wasn't going to Blade Show, so he hooked me up. So beautiful knife. You guys, you know I love Matt Chase, great guy, but you know I love his knives even more, or you know. So here it is, the latest one. Can't wait to get another one. This is what I had on me today. Let's talk about what you guys were carrying. I'm going to put these away, and I don't want to stab myself with anything, so I got to look at what I'm doing. Co-Bunny says, the T-Kel looks nice. I wish T-Kel made swords. Yeah, it'd be cool. I mean, the biggest thing I have from them is the Outrider. That's pretty sweet. This is a great knife. Fighting knife, outdoors knife, whatever you want knife. Bob, I have a T-Kel Sapper coming in a trade soon. That's this. So I called it the Outrider. He has now changed it to the Outrider. It started as the Sapper because it's a design collaboration with Imre Morgenstern, who's an IDF soldier and a sapper himself, a guy who digs around, or an EOD guy. He digs around for landmines and stuff. And so the idea, I love buying short swords. People without any swords should regret not buying swords. Yes, I agree. Every house should have at least one sword, at least one. But the whole idea behind this was this pommel and the connection between the pommel and the palm, and how it goes all the way down, and how you can search around in the sand with the tip of the knife and know where it is, so you can touch mines and know exactly where the tip is. However, on the Sapper, there is a line that goes all the way from the bolts here all the way to the tip, so that when the front of the knife is in the sand, you can still extrapolate where that tip is from the line. So really cool knife. Great story. And I'm happy with this Outrider. It'd be cool to have a Sapper with the line and all that. Lone Star says, I put texture on the spine of all my knives. I'd be jimping out. Yes. I like jimping. I'd like jimping on, like, some of the Spydercos. I wouldn't mind a little jimping on. Like the Native Chief has Big jimping, says HCL Salt. The jimping on this knife is just, I love this knife. I think I might get more, maybe not. I might just have to get the military too. DJ says, Bob, I think you would really like the Fred Perrin Le Bowie. Yeah, I have no doubt. I have no doubt about that. I'd like to get, Fred Perrin makes handmade knives. He lives on a farm in France, and he makes knives. He seems to live a really pastoral life. Now that he's out of the French Foreign Legion or whatever he was doing. And it looks really cool, but he makes knives kind of on his own pace. I'd love to get one of those, like one of his handmaids. James Hart says, I have one tactical katana, two tactical wakizashis, two German type messers. Those are cool. I want a German type messer. A Scottish basket hilt. I want one of those. Broadsword, and a Cold Steel 1917 Navy cutlass. That's what this is, sort of. This is a 1917 Dutch Kluang, which is based exactly, and I think made in the same factory, on the 1917 naval cutlass. The last U.S. Cutlass that was ever issued to Navy people, which is sad. They should all have cutlasses. Have a Knife Day says, my regret is not clicking subscribe several years ago to becoming a junkie and clicking the thumbs up while you were at it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Ooh, buying a Bark River pig sticker. Those are cool. MBM, nice to have your MBM. I believe Dave, if he's still in the chat, he has one of those. They look cool. Here, in the same vein, though, you got to be careful. Got to be careful when you're buying one of their knives. But in the same vein, here is a Wild Pig Hunter from Tops. James Hart says, I have a long messer, what was called a Gustav messer with an 18-inch blade. Ooh, that sounds cool. This is awesome. This is based on a military knife from Russia, but it has a super rigid blade. You have full thickness of that blade right down to near the tip. This is about 3/16 of an inch thick, I believe. Really nice knife. I love this thing. This was a gift from my wife number of years back now. Don't remember when. She wanted to buy me a knife, and I guided her gently towards this one. Gently, but absolutely towards that one. Lone Star Dowboy says, what makes one fixed blade a neck knife and another not? Otherwise, is it correctly referred to as neck carry? A neck. Well, some knives are made exclusively for neck carry. I have a Murray Carter knife. And he makes a very famous and very expensive neck knife. And then he has an atelier. He has a shop with a number of smiths who are coming up and making their own name. And they make his designs and their kind of own riffs on his designs. And one of his most famous designs is his neck knife. And I wish I had it pulled out. It's a beautiful knife, and the steel is incredible. And he learned the traditional Japanese way of making steel and all this. He was actually a Japanese bladesmith in a Japanese town as a Canadian man for a good number of years, first ever in 700 years, which was cool. Or ever, actually, you may as well say. But anyway, that knife that he made was exclusively for neck carry, only had grommets right here on the thing. It was for the neck, and big for a neck knife, in my opinion, but nice and light. Some knives, and I have a bunch of them, that's how they're optimally carried, and that's kind of what they're intended for. Of course, you can always take the cord off and drop it in the pocket. Love that. But yeah, there is such thing as exclusively a neck knife. But then a lot of knives that are made as neck knives that you can carry a lot of other ways. Like when you buy a Minimalist, probably the most famous neck knife from CRKT, designed by Alan Foltz. There's a bunch of different blades. That thing comes with a cord to carry around the neck, and then also a belt loop if you want to put it on the belt. So anyway, All long answers tonight. Oh, I see a crack on my computer screen. That sucks. Adrian Fighter 35 says, "Oh my God, finally won something. What'd you win? I forgot all about it. Just kidding. I wrote it down." Edgy American Blade says, "Adrian, I'd be interested in buying that mug if you have too many." Northern Knives became a YouTube member. Awesome. Wait. Northern Knives, you're already a Patreon member, or are you dropping that? You don't need to pay twice. Everyone check. Make sure you're not paying twice. Yeah. I don't think you are, but there was always someone who, and I've mentioned to it a number of times. He's like, "No, I swear I'm not." But I'm like, they have you listed on Patreon as paying for a traditional junkie and a gentleman junkie, and he says no. So anyway, Marcus says, "My biggest regret, selling my 1980s vintage Cold Steel Trailmaster." Yeah, I feel you. That would be a regret. HCL Salt says, "We need knife rights help in Canada." Oh my God, I want switchblades too. You need a lot of help in Canada, and we do too. I'm not trying to be snide, but we all need to remember some of our founding principles. All right, I want to not forget about the knife giveaway. Since we already gave away the mug, I was starting to relax on the giveaway thing, but no, we have to give away this knife too. Northern Knives says, "I finally figured out how to become a member on YouTube. That took me much longer than I like to admit. It sucks getting old." Here. I get it. How does this work, Sonny? Hey, what's this say here? Hey, well, people are still asking me to get stuff down for them, so that's fine. Edgy American Blade says, "Bob, I can't find that mug on Bob's site. How can I buy one?" I'm afraid, I hope that they have not, I hope they have not been sold out, and then this might just be a prototype. But I'll help you. Text me, I'll help you. We'll figure this out. HCL Salt says, "I don't think they're out yet." Edgy didn't. Oh, wait. I should know this. Hang on. Enclosed, you'll find our Terzuola Infinity knife. Hey, I'm sorry, Ben, but I pre-read this. I know there's nothing private. Our Terzuola Infinity knife case made by Paladin 33. I forgot to mention that for you to enjoy. We are offering 20% off these cases now through June 8th. So I forgot to mention that too. So I will do something more formal than this reading on terzuola.net. For your viewers with code KNIFEJunkie at checkout. While supplies last, discount only good on the knife cases. All right, I'm going to read that again. Enclosed, you'll find our Terzuola Infinity knife case made by Paladin 33 for you to enjoy. We are offering 20% off of these cases now through June 8th on terzuola.net for your viewers with code KNIFEJunkie at checkout. While supplies last, discount only good on the knife cases. Also, I'm including 2 Terzuola mugs for you to give away as you see fit. These were pre-production samples before we decided on clay body colors and glazes. Still great mugs, but one-offs with minor imperfections, which I did not see. So I do have another one, and we will do a giveaway of that one as well. So the knife case is 20% off. Absolutely loved the Lynn Thompson interview. The bonus membership footage was great. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. That was a great interview. He's such an awesome guy. Yeah, the Lynn Thompson episode was good. Thank you, Co-Bunny. I appreciate that. He's a really, really, really good guy. He has followed up with me, made sure everything's all right with my situation, and he sent me a couple of books. He's a really stand-up person. He's not just an awesome knife person. HCL Salt, or you know what I mean. He's not one of those don't meet your hero guys. Can't wait to see Lynn's new product line. Yeah, I can't either. I only saw the one that he showed on the interview, but man alive. Wolf Dog Armory says, "If it's a knife, gun, book, or tool, it lives with me forever." I hear that. They are for buying, not for selling. I intend to leave my nieces and nephews one heck of a problem. Yes, sir. That's a good outlook. You might leave a spreadsheet with values. That's what when I can finally get around to it, which I don't know when that's going to be, but I'm going to do that. The Aurelia is an incredible design. I agree 100%. This is just such a great knife, and the size is just right. And you might not know it, but he's also super influenced by Ernie Emerson designs, which I love so much. Gonna jump all over the next Aurelia drop. I think there's one coming. There must be, probably for Blade Show. Oh, Manganas has some killer drops at Blade Show Atlanta. I'm gonna have to look and see. But I gotta say, I think his designs are really cool. But this one is my favorite. The Kaimano is cool, but that one's my favorite. Lone Star says clones and counterfeits are two different things. Clones are legal ripoffs by a company. Counterfeit is making a version pretending to be the real thing. Well, I hate that even more. Cold steels are cloned and counterfeited. Indeed. Hit the like button, you slackers. Yes, Marcus, I like that. I like the cut of your jib, sir. You get these guys moving. Have you heard of Scallywag knives? Are they good? Yes, I have, and I love their videos. The son of the owner of Scallywag is and I'm sure he's a big part of it, part of the design and product team there. He's a real tough looking dude. I think he's an ex-law enforcement type guy. And yeah, I think they are good. I think they're OEM'd, overseas, which is fine. I have a lot of knife companies, all that I like, whose products are manufactured overseas. And yeah, and I think if you're into that kind of knife, and by that I mean self-defense style knife, they're very well considered, and I think very well suited for that purpose, because I think they put a lot of thought into that in particular. Johnny Evans says, the way you describe knives, I love. Your inner artist really comes out. You see a lot more than I ever would. Oh, thanks, Johnny. I appreciate that. We see different things. I'm sure you see stuff I'd never see. Carry of the day, Cold Steel Voyager XL Tonto and Code 4 Clip Point. I need a Code 4 back in my life, and maybe it would be the Clip Point. I like the look of that, sort of a stout clip point. Staten Island Edge says, today my left pocket in a leather slip, and after we finish this, I'm giving away this knife. Today in my this knife right here, not the knife he's talking about. Today in my left pocket in a leather slip, I carried my Case 6569, beloved copperhead, and clipped to my right pocket my Machine Wise Sonora. So that's been a tried and true lately, that Machine Wise, and I keep forgetting the Copperhead. Oh, Copperhead, yeah, yep. They're sweet. So do you say beloved or beloved? I have stopped saying anything like beloved except winged. If something has wings, I like saying it's winged. Let's see. Okay, there's that mug is there. Okay, let's give this away. The Nanner, CJRB. I love CJRB. I'm going to do a little editorializing before we get started. I really like CJRB. I like Artisan a lot. This is in their proprietary, and if you don't know, CJRB is a budget-minded brand from Artisan. ARRPM 9 is their proprietary steel. I can't remember what it's analogous to. I think it's VG10. And or D2, I don't know, something I can't remember. How am I supposed to remember, people? Really, really nice grip. It's a weird shape. It's supposed to be evocative of a banana. It comes in yellow or green. We got the unripe Nanner here. This is courtesy of Dirk Pinkerton. He sent this in a box of knives to give away, and we've given a few of them away, and there are more in the offing. But this is for tonight, and a really unique. I could totally see why he would buy this knife. Dirk has a strong interest in exotic knives of the world and different cultures from around the world, but also just unique modern knives, and this is definitely in that camp. Also, by the way, if you hold this in the pistol grip like this, you can bring that tip right down center line. It just it reorients the tip for you. And that also would work for a slash. If you had to slash with this, though, you might want to grip real hard or just not get in a fight with this. Okay, that's enough of that. On bearings, let's give this sucker away. All right. Now we got to do a draw again scenario. Hell, okay. Let's see where this goes. Who's going to win? Who will it be? Sword XXXY to 2005. Oh, man, it took me so long to get your last winnings to you. It will not take me so long this time. As a matter of fact, I will do this next week. All right, Sword XXXY winning the nanner. And I'll throw something else in there to make it worth the trip. The nanner. Okay, let me write this down. And I believe, well, I know I have your address because you are a gentleman junkie as well. But if you don't mind sending that to me, that'd be awesome. So, nanner, Sword XXY. Okay, there we go. Thank you. All right, so let me get this over here. I just don't want to lose it. All right, lose it. Yeah, around all this stuff. So I was talking about Al Salviti before. This is a cool one too. Canary SK. Good to have you here, Canary. Carrying an Artisan Cutlery Clio. Which one is that? I remember liking the Clio, and I'll tell you why. Because it reminded me, the name reminded me of someone from college that it didn't know I existed, but I admired from afar in a class. James Hart says, on my belt today was a new knife made by a company called Riot. Or is that Reet? The RT500. It's basically a mini kukri with a 4-inch D2 blade. How cool. G10 handle scales and a Kydex sheath for under $20. Oh, that sounds. Hey man, under $20, you can thump on it. If it crashes out on you, then it's $20. Craig says, Bob, technically I carried nothing today as I never left the house. But being homebound all day with knives in every room, you can bet I fondled at least 100, mostly cold steels. Very nice, sir. Very nice. And I'm sure you had one on you. Dude, that sax. Yes. I know. I know. It is really beautiful. And if I had ordered this if I had ordered my sax from scratch, it would have been different. Would have been larger, would have been more like a Scramma sax, which I still might do, like a broke back combative, like raiding sax. And it would have a big knobby stag handle. This is perfect belt knife. This is really actually a beautiful sheath, but I'm going to have Matt make me something leather that I can actually slip in my belt and actually carry this. I want to carry this, not as an EDC necessarily, but I want to carry it. We need to swim by. Oh, okay. Look at that. Oh, wow. You can see my reflection, man. It goes on forever and ever. Look at that. The grip. Oh, it's so good. The grip is so good. That sax is beautiful. Holy moly, says Rick. Thank you, Rick. Thank you like I made it. I just bought it. But if you grip it real hard, I'm not worried about it not having a guard because that tip is so acute. So to quote Jared Wehangi when he was asked, what's the best way to grip your knife? He said, tightly. I was like, yeah, good point. Sensory Overload. Good to have you here, Sensory Overload. Hello to you. Hope you're doing well. Adrian Fighter 35 says, hey, Bob, as much as I love winning stuff, and it's awesome to win, I think Edgy American Blades would definitely appreciate that badass mug more than I. So would you send it to him? I would indeed. And for such generosity, I would send something to you as well, sir. So let's do it that way. Yep. All right. All right. I'll remember this. Well, no, I won't. So now Shane gets the mug, and he gets. Okay. All right. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says today was real simple. My Victorinox Farmer in a handmade sheath. I love the Farmer. I have the no wait. Do I have the Farmer? No, I have the Pioneer. The Pioneer X A-Locks. I love that thing. The Farmer. The Farmer has one different implement, I think. MG says Sage 4 with wooden scales, side bolster, and lockback. Why would they not? Why would they get rid of the lockback? Yeah, I remember that with the wooden scales. Huh. Wow, that's a blast from the past. Brian says, hey, Brian, good to have you here. Brian Croasdale says, my biggest regret was not buying a Todd Begg Persian Integral when I could have, but was trying to be responsible at the time. Hey, man, even if now you don't think what you were being responsible was worth it, it was. It was, believe me. So the Persian, you'll be able to find it someday. It'll be back. Terminator Joe says, pocket check today. Of course, 2 Cold Steel Espada XLs. Both I serrated myself and recently refined now that they cut like a razor. Very nice. Or refined, now they cut like a razor. 2 Black Talon 2s. Is that overkill? Not at all. And the Work Tough Gear Aries, which I used to chop a frozen hen in half. Sounds delicious. Cesario Atan says, got my Prather War Bowie over my shoulder. My Riot on my front, 2 Benchmade Bally songs, Spear Point and Tonto on my table. That sounds awesome. I love those. That of Benchmade, that's all I'm interested in. Honestly, I mean, no, there are a couple of random knives. Like I said, some Shane Sibbert fixed blades. But really, all I really want from Benchmade at this point, wouldn't mind a Nimmervis, but the belt. Johnny says off-grid tracker X3 on the belt. That's a great knife. Or I know that the regular tracker. I don't have the X3, but regular tracker is awesome. North Mountain Hot Rod, right pocket. North Mountain Hot Rod in right pocket. Montana Knife Company TF24, front left. TKL Agent 003 in the 12 o'clock belt. Hey, Johnny, have you seen the new Montana Knife Company folder they're coming out with? Looks really nice. 3 1/4 inch blade, so not in my preferred carry size, so it's not a moral imperative. But I do need to get a Montana knife in hand. I saw a bunch of them early on that had the cord wrap handles, and not the kind of cord wrapping I'm into. So I kind of just, but that company, man, huge. Super Bowl ad. Was that a Super Bowl ad I saw last year? Something like that. But yeah, huge advertising budget and such. Apparently, a lot of brain drain, or I guess it's not brain drain, but talent drain in the milling world. I think they've wooed a lot of very talented millers out to Montana to handle their demand. Ben Odie says, Bob, did you see Spyderco has a gununting in their new reveal? Oh, no, I haven't. Oh, what'd I do? Lost my screens. Here we go. All right, I'm going to have to look that up. No, I did not. Are they calling it a Gnunting? Is it 3 things? Calling it a Gnunting? Is it part of their ethnic series? And if so, did Ed Schemp design it? I'm not a huge fan of Ed Schemp designs, though their ergonomic feel, or at least the Persian I have from him, his ergonomic feels great, but his designs just look goofy. I'm sorry. Split and Slices says, Carry is the off-grid Stinger XL, the Rough Rider 24 Humpback Granddaddy Barlow in burlap micarta. Very nice. Commander Bell says, one of my knife I carry around is Bone Edge Skinner knife. Guys admire my knife and tell me they collect knives too. That's cool. Yeah, that's one of those knives that you carry around that people catches their eyes. I like that. It's like pocket clips. I can spot a pocket clip a mile away and tell what it is. Jacob Vargas says, today's pocket check. TKL. Oh my God. Excuse me. Long day, I guess. TKL Agent 007. Spyderco Para2 Lefty. So this, what do you guys think? I guess now that I know that there's a Ganun thing, I have to look at that. But I was really thinking I would get the crew wear military too. Anyone here have a military too they want to trade or sell? How about that? Had a skunk in the kitchen, in the chicken coop. Did I miss the knife giveaway? Yeah, you did. An American Father, it was this. It was this. The nanner. Oh, Mickey Yurko, the Yurko Ganunting. Thanks for sending me that. So that must be Mickey Yurko. He's a guy I've invited on the show, and we still have to make that happen. Hero Stick says, an American Father, that is one of the all-time great comments on Thursday Night Knives. Yes, that was. I overlooked how awesome that was. Ben says, we are out of stock on the mugs right now until we do a new run. Oh, today's carry, Vero Lux, Demco 8020 Bowie, not to be confused with their clip point. Okay. So more of a curved clip. Protect Godfather. Oh, that sounds beautiful. I like this. Protect Godfather. That's the one with the long blade, and I believe it has the guards with burled maple scales. Beautiful. For emotional support knife, the Shade Indonesia Yakuza 3 Bowie. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I can surmise, knowing Shade Indonesia, it's got to be bad as it gets. Fishbag says, has anyone seen what Demco is bringing to Blade Show? Jaw dropping. No, I haven't. Man, I haven't been on Instagram much. I got to keep up. Edgy American says, Samurai Buns promote Scallywag. Samurai Buns. She's my favorite IG creator. Samurai Buns. Okay, I got to check her out. Oh, Melissa Backwards. Okay. she's nice. A nice lady. I think she's she seems like a nice lady. I've tried to invite her on the show. I'd like to talk to her about knives. She would be like one of the very few women we've had on here, and she knows a lot about the knives. She seems like a nice lady, but she hasn't gotten back to me. No, I know she's supposed to be very nice. That's per Tim. The CJRB Feldspar was my first internet knife order. The Feldspar, that was one of their if not their very first knife. Feldspar was a great knife. I only have one big sax, the APOC Derecho. I love it a lot. APOC makes cool stuff. Hammer 777, good to have you here, sir. Hey to you. I say, sir, I'm presuming. The Junkie is a mini sax. That's right. The Junkie is a mini sax. That's about a 4-inch blade, right? Let's see. Taking what I know to be a little bit more than a 4-inch blade. Yeah, it's a skosh under 4 inches. Just a titch, just a hair. A sax is supposed to be carried on the horizontal, blade up across the back. I have one that was made in Nepal out of 1060 high carbon spring steel with a 12-inch long blade. So, James, did you see The Northman? Like, such an amazing movie. I love that movie. The Northman is an incredible, incredible movie. I don't remember where he kept his sax, but he kept his Scrama sax, the big one, right across the front. Oh my God, those scenes of the raids movie is so good. That movie is so good, and it's trippy as hell too. It's like the director, I don't remember who directed that, but it's like they were trying to make the movie itself mystical, like the experience of being on whatever they would berserk on, whatever that drink was that made them trip out. That movie was so cool. If you haven't seen The Northman, about a Viking raider, you have to. It's so good. And it's played by the guy who played Tarzan. I can't remember. He's a Skarsgård of some. I don't remember his first name. Edgy American Blade says in the pocket today was the Freeman 451. That's a cool knife, man. That's a cool knife, and one of the first button lock non switchblades I remember seeing years ago, like before the craze caught on. Montana Knife Company has an excellent marketing department. Yes, they do, and it seems like they have an excellent budget for such things. Johnny Evans says, I have quite a few Montana knife companies, but the folder didn't interest me. And then I saw the price and totally forgot it. Yeah, I think it's like $350, which might stick in the craw of people, but their knives aren't inexpensive. And as we've learned, it makes more business sense in the long run to start high and then pare back. Start high on prices if you're delivering. I mean, if you're a brand new knife maker, you don't want to start high if you're not able to deliver something that is like worth it. But if you're having your knives made, I would say that rule applies. Tyler Durkee says, I'm here just listening. Tyler, it's great to have you just listening and lurking. Always welcome. Edgy American Blade says, of all the knives I've made, I've never measured the blade length. I just go by feel, man. Yeah. It just seems to work. This is such a great knife. So a cool story about this. Shane gave this to me last year at Blade Show. And then over time, he's like, send it back to me. There are things I want to do to it. I'm like, go ahead. And he perfected it. He really did an awesome job on this. I love it. And not just holding it and looking at it, it cuts amazingly. You can see, no, you can't really see. I've done quite a bit of just around here cutting. This thing is great. The Harzy Fighter hasn't left my hand since I grabbed it as the live was starting tonight. Awesome. I'm sure a lot of people grab a pet knife. I'll do that before we sit down for a movie. It's like someone comes through that window while we're watching this. What am I going to stab the guy with? James Hart says, I own that movie, but I've talked to a guy in Denmark who loves Viking reenacting, and he filled me in on how to carry a sax. That movie is so awesome. The sax is worn horizontally so that when you get down on a bench, it was not in the way. Yeah, that makes sense. And on the back would make sense, even though I do not like knives in the small of my back. Mr. F. Lewis. Okay, Mr. F. Lewis. Good to have you here, Mr. Lewis. In the pocket today was a custom copper-plated Leatherman. How cool. Leatherman Free P2 with a sheepsfoot blade in Magna Cut and the new Best Tech Mini Taipan. That Taipan, it like took the world by storm. People love that knife. It does look cool, and I saw that they just released that new big one. I wish that they just brought the spine to the point. I really do. I would have been all over that knife, but I guess maybe it's better. I like any excuse I can get to not buy a knife, and that's a perfect one. All right, become a gentleman junkie, as Jim says as he puts this up. Join the like button here. You go to Patreon and go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/Patreon. You can become a Patreon member there if you're already involved over there, or if you just want to join here on YouTube. Of course, you don't have to join to come enjoy this show or to be a part of the all access giveaways that are on offer 75% of the time, because Dave sends me so many knives to give away to you. Dave of OG Blade Reviews, as does Mike of Northern Knives, as has Dirk Pinkerton, and I have knives from my personal collection that I'm culling that I'll be giving away. So no one likes knives in their back, Bob. Yeah, no kidding. So keep coming. But if you want the special giveaway, that 1/3 Thursday of the month where we give away something a little fancier, oftentimes custom, become a gentleman junkie. That's joining here or joining on Patreon. Sean Clark, Bob, see the eye and the knuckles. Hope the other guy looks worse. Yeah, I am the other guy. Unfortunately, this was a training accident. I was hitting the Bob dummy with an especially heavy Kamagong stick, and it hit me. It answered back. This was some unrelated. Sierra Rick says, Bob got sleepy eyes. Good night, all. Good night. Good night, Rick, and good night, everybody. Brian says, Bob, great to be here. Your interest in blades is similar to mine. Oh, awesome. And Brian, please join us next week, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be here for the whole time. Let's talk. Let's talk knives. I got so many knives on the table that I didn't even show tonight because I end up talking so much. But It's my goal to show off more knives. James says, well, you can hear it scout style on your hip. I won't make fun of you. You can wear it. Well, this one, yeah. This one is definitely, he made the rings 2 different sizes. So I think he did intend that to be hip carry. And it carries fine on the hip. But yeah, don't judge me. I want to carry mine. I want to carry this like a Bowie in the belt. So that's how I want to do it with the new sheath I commissioned from Matt. All right. Join us on Sunday for episode 673 of the Knife Junkie podcast, an interview with Al Salviti, the guy who designed this and trained a lot of badasses and a number of other things. So check it out. It's a great show. He's a very interesting guy, Al Salviti. All right. For Jim, working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying have an awesome, awesome weekend, and don't take dull for an answer.